Good afternoon.
Okay, class, let's take a look to our condense. Basically, because this is a very big area, we have to really every time to remind you where are we. So in the first two lessons, we already gone through the introduction. We've gone through the chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically, all the brief will be mentioned in the introduction in today's class. So basically, in today's class, we are still in the introduction. So we stop in the twofold method. Okay, then before the twofold method, we have gone through is what? Let's see. This is about the, let's see. Yeah, it's regards the abhidhamma. So class, basically, once we talk about the abhidhamma, we start to mention regarding the first council, second council, and the third council. As you all know, actually, abhidhamma is part of the product during the meeting within the sangha member. So this is mentioned in the previous lesson. We use some history we use some history background to introduce all this. Then besides, let's take a look. We come to the twofold method, basically. Okay, as we know, the definition for the abhidhamma is something like a philosophical and psychological and ethical. And basically, the condenser is all about the Four Noble Path. All right. So once we go to the twofold method, basically we try to see the difference between the abhidhamma and the nikaya. Class nikaya, if it is we call it as agama, which is inherited by Sarvastivada, and Chinese is the country. It is more popular in the China mainland. Whereas the agama, they gain the popularity among the Theravada country. So nowadays, once we talk about the comparison, it's regards the Nikaya and also the Abhidhamma. But if you try to compare Nikaya and Agama, especially the Samyutta, there's about 90% similarity. Okay, so meaning to say that once you finish Abhidhamma, you can say that you also almost finished the Abhidhamma, the Nikaya already. So this is very crucial. And then class, once you finish the Abhidhamma, for the Chinese Mahayana, it's like a devotee. Since we are more keen to the Diamond Sutra, Heart Sutra, Mahaprajna Paramita, then you will have a very good foundation to understand all this Prajna Sutra by the mastery of the Abhidhamma. So this is from the theory part. Of course, you can apply it during the meditation. It depends on which method you try to follow. So how do we define? Number one, we talk about the abhidhamma. Sometimes abhi mean what? Surpasses, exceeding, and distinguished from the dhamma. Dhamma mean the nikaya. But it sounds arrogant, right? Wow, something is exceeds and distinguished from dhamma. So they try to explain again. They say no, actually, basically the area is about the same. They say this is abhi, meaning to say that it is a little bit different, but the area is still regards the five aggregate. Okay, so this is where do we stop here? So let's continue in the previous lesson. See, the scope and the method all is the same only. As the scope, yes, Cool, can you please read for the next passage?
As to scope, the Abhidhamma offer a thoroughness and completeness of treatment that cannot be found in the Sutta Pitaka. Acharya Buddhaghosa explained that in the suttas, such doctrinal categories as the five aggregate, the 12 sense bases, the 18 elements, and so forth, are classified only partly, while in the Abhidhamma Pitaka, they are classified fully according to different scheme of classification, some common to the sutta, other unique to the Abhidhamma. Thus, the Abhidhamma has a scope and an intricacy of detail that set in apart from the Sutta Pitaka. The other major area of difference concerns methods. The discourses contained in the Sutta Pitaka are expounded by the Buddha under diverse circumstances to listeners with very different capacities for comprehension. They are primarily pedagogical sikal intent set forth in the way that will be most effective in guiding the listener in the practice of the teaching and in arriving at a penetration of its truth. To achieve this end, the Buddha freely employed the didactic means required to make the doctrine intelligible to his listener. He uses simile and metaphor. He exhorts, advises, and inspires. He sizes up the inclinations and aptitudes of his audience and adjusts the presentations of the teaching so that it will awaken a positive response. For this reason, the Sutanta method of teaching is described as Pariyaya Dhammadesana, the figurative or embellished discourse on the Dhamma. In contrast to the suttas, the Abhidhamma-Pitaka is intended to divulge as starkly and directly as possible to totalistic system that underlies the suttata expositions and upon which the individual discourses draw. The Abhidhamma takes no account of the personal inclinations and cognitive capacities of the listener. It makes no concessions to particular pragmatic requirement. It reveals the architectonic of actuality in the abstract, formalistic manner utterly devoid of literary embellishment and pedagogical expedient. Thus, the Abhidhamma method is described as the Nipariyaya Dhammadesana, the literal of unembellished discourse on the Dhamma.
Okay, thank you so much. Hey, cool. Do you start to feel inferior that our English is so bad by reading the Abhidhamma? Hey,
Yeah, indeed.
yeah, hey, cool, no need to worry. You just simply read. We got two mobile dictionary here. One is from Mr. Leong, another one is a Tan Chun Tat. You know, Chun Tat claimed that he memorized the dictionary during the high school time, you know. The Merriam-Webster, you know, he memorized the whole dictionary. So no need worry, cool, you just simply read, they will correct our mistake, okay. I think we will improve much is English more than the Dharma, I think. Okay, so let's take a look. We digest this 3 paragraph. Okay, class, let's take a look. For this, a few paragraph. Here, number one is regarding the scope. Class, basically, no matter for Abhidhamma and Nikaya, the scope, the most important scope is regards this area. So class is regards the 5 aggregate, 12 sense spaces, and 18 elements. This is so important. The reason is the unique of the Buddhist is trying to dissolve the self, to disintegrate the ego. So what is the ego? After the integration, once we integrate, so we will integrate, and then what remain is the 5 aggregate, 12 sense bases, and 18 elements. So class, always remember, once you go to meditation, in order to disintegrate your ego, so this type of knowledge is very necessary. Basically, this 3 area, 5 aggregate, 12 base and 18 elements, it will be presented, comprehensively in Abhidhamma. So basically, a class, the way I see, Abhidhamma is more professional compared with the Nikaya, especially in presenting this 5 aggregate. Okay, it is a professional level, whereas a Nikaya is like a degree level. As long as you can pass through the professional, so the degree course is nothing for you already, because they include the degree. But if you just simply study the degree, maybe you still take some time, to really digest and understand the Abhidhamma. You see the second, you notice that they say, if you go to the Nikaya, you will see that Buddha used a lot of simile, to describe, and you will see a lot of figure, human in the Nikaya. For example, let's take a look. Class, let's take a look. For example, we go through the Nikaya. The Nikaya. Nikaya Sutta. Nikaya. So we just simply get a Nikaya Sutta. Let's take a look. For example, a Majjhima Nikaya, the middle length discourses. Okay, from here, once we go through the Sutta, okay, we'll notice that actually a lot of things are happening here. You see, like this one, MN1. We go to see this. Okay, translator introduction. No, we want to. Yeah, okay. I have heard that one occasion. Sally, can you please read the passage? I have heard that, please.
I have heard that on one occasion, the Blessed One was staying at Yurukata in the shade of a royal sal tree in the very blessed grove. There he addressed the monks. Yes, Lord, the monks responded. The Blessed One said, monks, I will teach you the sequence of the roots of all phenomena, or the root sequence of all phenomena. Listen and pay close attention. I will speak.
Okay, thank you so much, Sally. Sally, let's take a look. Do you see a lot of, how to say that, the concept here? Sally, you see, you will see I, right? The blessed
yes.
one. Any places you see?
Blessed grove.
Ukata is the place, right?
It's the place.
Saltry is the rope, right? Any figure appeared here? Any human appeared here?
The monks.
The monks appeared, right? Yes. Also, Lord, right? Also appeared, right? So
yes.
all the human. So meaning to say, from these a few sentences, we are able to see they got places, they got the people, and they got I and you. Okay, class. Basically, if you go through Abhidhamma, all this disappeared. Why? Because they will disintegrate all this concept and go to the ultimate reality. So how do we know that? Class, let's take a look. This is, the text mentioned here. Let's see. Okay, class, you see, just now, once I mentioned all this, you will see the human, you can see the place, we call it as a pariyaya dhamma desana, meaning to say the figurative or the embellished discourse on the Dhamma. So that is the meaning. And then from there, we see a lot of the simile and also the metaphor. You notice that, but class, if you go through the Abhidhamma, I think I could example to you before. In Abhidhamma, we don't see all these things. Basically, once we go through our textbook here, when we start to study chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, from here, you will never see a human, a place, or this thing. Okay, here. So, Guan San, if you study without a human, without a place, and then without any concept, so how do you think this type of subject? Guan San, what do you think? Do you think it is very boring? Very boring, So are you start regretting joining the boring class? Okay, never mind. I'll try my best to make it not that boring. The reason is because, as I said, this is more professional. We don't use story to train the professional. Okay, we don't use story. We use the facts. Like you study or medicine, I think it's not easy for us also, right? The pharmaceutical, I think feel very boring, right? Okay, a lot of chemia, organic, inorganic, I think I also want to sleepy already. But we use this to train you as a professional at the pharmaceutical, am I right? Am I right? You don't use story to train a pharmaceutical. So that is the meaning here. Okay, let me finish the whole thing. So class, basically for Abhidhamma, we don't see all these things. So we call it as a Nipariyaya Tamadesana. This is the literal, you see. So everything is in an abstract and formalistic manner. Everything will go through in a very formal way, and you don't see any personal inclination and no connective capacity of the listener. So in a simple way, Abhidhamma, they don't bother you understand or don't understand. They just give you the facts. Like you go to take a side of the course as a doctor, as a lawyer, they don't bother you. You have to adapt the course, all right? But for Nikaya, they will try to adapt you with a lot of simile and metaphor. Okay, yes, Mr. Leong, you raise your hand, please.
Sifu, instead of the 6 senses, why are they
12 base and 18 elements, right?
Yeah, what are these?
What's the difference? Yes, okay, yeah. Okay, basically, I just simply explain. For the 5 aggregate, okay, the emphasis is more on the mentality more than the physical. Because number 1 is the rupa, the next of the 4 are more in mentality. Then for the 12 base, so maybe I have to show you the diagram. Okay, the emphasis on the mentality and the physicality is quite different. Why they make it different? Due to the different capacity. So let's see. Okay, we see here 5 aggregate. Then we see the 12 base and 18 elements. 12 base, then 18 elements. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, let me see whether I got a good diagram or not. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, very small. Okay, okay, too small. Okay, let me check for you the better diagram. Okay, now let me just explain the simple. Okay, 5 aggregate as I mentioned is a 色受想行识 the rupa, the feeling. Okay, I mean the perception. Okay, volition, and there's a consciousness. So, Mr. Leong, you see, number 1 is the physical, the rest are mentality. But if you talk about the 12 base, you see, again, you see, eye, ear, nose, tongue, all right, and the body. Okay, all are the physical. So, all the physical will be facing. I mean the dust. We call it as the dust. You see, I will encounter the color. Okay, so this is the physical. Color also physical. Ear will encounter the sound. This is the physical. That also is the physical. Okay, it's a physical. It's a rupa. Okay, nose, tongue, the body. Okay, they also will encounter. We call it as the smell and the sound. All these things we all consider is a physical, but just the mental. the manner we encounter the Dharma. So meaning to say in the 12 base, mostly is the physical, mostly is the Rupa, only one is the Nama. Okay, but for 5 aggregate, mostly our mentality, only one is the Rupa. So meaning to say that for most of the people, observe the Rupa is easier than the Nama. So if let's say you go to the Vipassana, your teacher will realize that we realize that actually the Rupa take times to diminish. So they will ask you to do the Vipassana to observe the Rupa instead of the Nama. Okay, so basically they don't start with the 5 aggregate, maybe we'll start with the 12 link base. So that is the reason why we will have 18 elements, 12 base, and the 5 aggregate. The reason is here, all right? It's basically like 18 elements are basically they are more emphasized. I think if I'm not making a mistake, it's more also on the more on the material, more on the mentality for the 18 elements. If you compare the rest, yeah, Mr. Leong, yes.
Sifu, can I say that 12 sense bases are based on the dependent origination, the 12 links?
Oh yes, of course we will use this to explain the 12 dependent origination, yes. But if you ask the question of why 5 aggregate, why 12 base, why for 18 elements, I will answer the way I answer to you. Of course, we will use the same thing to explain the 12 link condition. That will be the same one, Mr. Liang. Whereas for Abhidhamma, we are using the 5 aggregate to explain the whole thing. The self, we will disintegrate with the 5 aggregates. Okay? So Mr. Liang, get it?
And then regarding these 18 elements, but we know that there are only 4 elements.
Oh, no. 18 elements basically is a different definition. Let me show you. I think we no need to go so fast. Make you clear is important. Let's see. Let me explain to you. This is the content of an 18 element. So I show you here. Now, Mr. Liang, this is the 18 elements. Okay, I have to write the Buddhism. Okay, let Mr. Liang see. Okay, we got 18 elements. They call it 18 tatu. This is a more formal ways. Okay, 18 tatu. Let me show you 18. What are they? Okay. Okay, Mr. Liang, you see. So this is 18 tatu. Basically, the eye tatu is a visual form. Then we raise up the eye consciousness. And the ear tattoo, all right, because we touch the sounds, our ear will hear the sounds, then will be the ear consciousness, okay? So same the rest, okay? So if you try to calculate, we notice that here consciousness, all are the mentality, we got 6 mentality, right? This is all the object. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, all are the object, all right? And then for the faculty, Mr. Liang, you see, all also is the faculty, is also is the object. So totally here we got 12 object and 6 mentality. So meaning to say that this is more focused on the physical rather than the consciousness. Okay, Mr. Liang, so that's the meaning here.
So can I correctly say that it is 6 times 2 and then 6 times 3?
Yeah, you can say so, yeah. Yeah, you can say so. 6 times 2 and 3 but you have to know the definition. Yeah, that's true.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, the 12 base means
yeah,
the 12 base meaning to say is the faculty tattoo and also the object tattoo. So class, can you please go back to the notes that regards the 12 base. So you write down 6 faculty tattoo and the 6 object tattoo. If 18 will be the 6 faculty, 6 object, and then 6 consciousness tattoos. So that is the meaning. This is how we get 18. Okay, next let's take a look. So this is regards the consciousness or this. Sally, once you finish copy, please thumb up I can see you, you just thumb up. I know you finished copy the words. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so let's take a look. Now we go to the next paragraph. So class basically this pariyani and dhamma desana, just ignore it don't be confused by it. Just I mean focus on this the words which is more easy or figurative embellish discourse on the dhamma. This will be good enough already. Okay, so we know the difference already. Now we go to the next difference. Guan San, can you please read the passage? These differences.
This difference in technique between the two methods also influences their respective terminologies. In the suttas, the Buddha regularly makes use of conventional language, vahara vakana, and accept conventional truth, samuti sakha. Truth expressed in terms of entities that do not possess ontological ultimacy, but can still be legitimately referred to them. Thus, in the suttas, the Buddha speaks of I and you, of man and woman, of living beings, persons, and even self as though they were concrete realities. The abhidhamma methods of exposition, however, rigorously restricts itself to terms that are valid from the standpoint of ultimate truth. Paramatthasakha dhammas, their characteristic, their functions, and their relations. Thus, in the Abhidhamma, all such conceptual entities provisionally accepted in the suttas for purposes of meaningful communication are resolved into their ontological ultimates, into bare mental and material phenomena that are impermanent, conditioned and dependently arisen, empty of abiding self-substance. But a qualification is necessary. When a distinction is drawn between the two methods, this should be understood to be based on what is most characteristic of each Pitaka and should not be interpreted as an absolute dichotomy. To some degree, the two methods overlap and interpenetrate. Thus, in the Sutta Pitaka, we find discourses that employ the strictly philosophical terminology of aggregate sense-based elements and etc. Thus, come within the bounds of Amidhamma method. Again, within the Amidhamma Pitaka, we find sections, even a whole book, the Pugalapanati, that depart from rigorous manner of expression and employ conventional terminology, thus coming within the range of Suttanta method.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hey, we Guan San okay, we are all laymen maybe you talk to us. Oh, in order to suppress your immune system, you should take the steroid. But for you, if you talk to the doctor, will you just simply talk steroid or will be more specific? Guan San?
Actually, the doctor, they know more already.
Can you mention to us how many types of steroid?
Actually got quite many, but I'm not in charge of this medication. Yeah.
Okay. If you're in charge, you will specifically tell the term of which steroid to the doctor, right?
Yeah.
But if you talk to us, you just mention steroid is good enough already. Am I right? For us, like me, Ku, Sally, you say, oh, just take the steroid. That's all right.
Maybe it could be something simpler lah.
More simple to understand, right? Yeah, exactly. It's the same here lah. For Abhidhamma, basically, I mean, if you talk to the people, I mean, like the Nikaya, basically you just tell people, oh, steroid, so simple. Okay, whatever, we just take the steroid. But for Abhidhamma, it was specific, each one by one, more professional. So you get it? So what you read just now, it just this is the analogy for us. How about the Panadol? It's just so many types of the Panadol.
Got many different type lah. Different strength also.
So meaning to say, you talk to us, just take Panadol. But if you talk to the doctor, they will go be more specific. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Luckily, Sally, we are not the doctor, or we will suffer by all the terminologies. Okay, so we digest. Okay, yes. Yeah, Mr. Slim, thumb up, please, once you finish, I can see you. Yeah, thank you so much. So class, let's take a look. Here actually is the example already, you see. Conventional language, conventional truth. Conventional in the simple way that you see, we will talk to you, I, you, man, woman, just Guansan talk to us, Panadol and steroid. But if you go to the text of the Abhidhamma, it goes to more ultimate truth. So, I mean, maybe our Panadol, what is the chemical or substance and the structure behind the Panadol, that is more ultimate truth, okay? Not for the layman, it's for the professional. So it's a same analogy, I think you can understand already. Then how it goes, once we start to study the chapter 1, they will know that. Because in Abhidhamma, basically, we just talk about the Dhamma, the characteristic, the function, and their relationship, that's all. Okay, so maybe you'll be curious, how come it present if let's say there is no I and you, so let me just quick an example. Let's take a look. For example, this is the example to fulfill your curiosity. Or maybe actually you are not curiosity, just I myself to fulfill myself curiosity only. Not direct asking question. The more you ask, the more you don't understand. Am I right? Okay. So let's take a look. So this is one example. How do they present? For this. Let's see. Okay. Let's. Okay, Hui Ping, can you please read this passage in the case of the citta? Let's see. Please on the mic, Hui Ping.
Okay, I forgot to on. Okay, in the case of citta, its characteristics is the knowing of an object, vijanana. Its function is to be a forerunner, pubhagama, of the mental factors in that it presides over them and it's always accompanied by them. Its manifestations, the way it appears in the meditator's experience, is as a continuity of processes, sandhana. Its proximate cause is mind and matter, namarupa, because consciousness cannot arise alone. In the complete absence of mental factors and material phenomena.
Okay, thank you so much. So you say, what is the citta, our mind, right? So we explain in this way, you say, citta is like a forerunner, and then the manifestation is like a continuity of the process. See or not? So this is the interpretation for the Abhidhamma to describe the citta. They were always in this way, repeat, to mention that this is the citta. So it's quite different from the conventional truth. Yeah, Mr. Leong, you raise your hand, please.
Can we say that this is from Dhammapada verse 1? Forerunner.
Okay. Mr. Leong, can you please off your camera and mention again? Because Sally, if make joke over you already. Okay.
Is it refer to this Dhammapada verse number 1, which says that the mind is a forerunner?
Yeah. I think so, yes. Because Buddhaghosa is a compiler. You try to compile many things. Mr. Leong, I think that will be truth. I read that before. It's from the Dhammapada, I think. Okay, so class, this is the mention here. So let's continue. So we finish here, okay. Then he mentioned that basically there will be some overlap between the sutta and also the Abhidhamma. You will see some overlap. Besides the aggregate sense basis element, there will be more area. So now we go to the distinctive feature of the Abhidhamma. Yes, Chang Jie, can you please read can you please read the passage?
Okay, super.
Can you on your camera? Want to see you? Yeah, don't off the camera. Yes, please.
Okay, apart from its strict adherence to the philosophical method of exposition, the Abhidhamma makes a number of other noteworthy contributions integral to its task of systemization. One is the employment in the main books of the Abhidhamma-Pitaka of a matika, a matrix or schedule of categories as the blueprint for the entire edifice. This matrix, which comes at the very beginning of the Dhamma Sangani as a preface to the Abhidhamma-Pitaka proper, consists of 122 modes of classification special to the Abhidhamma method. Of these, 22 are triads, tika, sets of 3 terms into which the fundamental dhammas are to be distributed. The remaining 100 are daids, dukkha, sets of 2 terms used as a basis for classification. The matrix serves as a kind of grid for sorting out the complex manifold of experience in accordance with principles determined by the purposes of the Dhamma. For example, the triads includes such sets as states that are wholesome, unwholesome, indeterminate, states associated with pleasant feeling, painful feeling, neutral feeling, states that are karma results, productive of karma result, neither, and so forth. The daids include such sets as states that are roots, no roots, states concomitant with roots, not so concomitant, states that are conditioned, unconditioned, states that are mundane, supramundane, and mundane, okay, supramundane, and so forth. By means of its selections of categories, the matrix embraces the totality of phenomena, illuminating it from a variety of angles, philosophical, psychological, and ethical in nature. A second distinguishing features of the Abhidhamma is the dissections of the apparently continuous stream of consciousness into a succession of discrete evanescent cognitive events called chittas, each a complex unity involving consciousness itself as the basic awareness of an object and a constellation of mental factors, cetasika, exercising more specialized tasks in the act of cognitions. Such a view of consciousness, at least in outline, can readily be derived from the Sutta Pitakas analysis of the experience into the 5 aggregates, among which the 4 mental aggregates are always inseparable and inseparably conjoined, but the conceptions remain there merely suggestive. In the Abhidhamma Pitaka, the suggestion is not simply picked up, but is expanded into an extraordinarily detailed and coherent picture of the functionings of consciousness both in its microscopic immediacy and in its extended continuity from life to life.
Okay, thank you so much. Hey, Hui Ping, if your student copy the whole passage Abhidhamma and submit to you, will you award him 100 marks in English?
You mean on grammar?
Yeah. Submit
On
to
English
you,
grammar perspective.
to your communication course. Will you award him 100 marks? The whole text copy to you.
I won't because I myself don't understand.
Definitely 100 marks. Even you yourself don't understand. Okay, I joke with me. Let's try to digest. Okay, maybe by putting the example can make you understand easily. Okay, please don't be frightened by all these texts. Actually, it's nothing if I just tell you the thing. So it's number one is the distinctive feature of abhidhamma. We go to the matika or matrix, actually that's we call it as a condense. So the example is the Dhamma Samgani. Let's take a look. This is the Dhamma Samgani. Let's see. Dhamma Samgani. Okay. Dhamma Sangani. Let's take a look. So this is a Dhamma Sangani. Sutta and parallel. We use this. Okay, Dhamma Sangani. Let's see. Let's take a look. Okay, you see metrics of the tribe, as we mentioned just now, we see the Bhikkhu Sujata translation. You see number one, let's take a look. Metrics of the tribe mean three. So from here you will see all is in the three, right? Phenomena that are skillful, one. Phenomena that are unskillful, two. Phenomena that are undesignated, three. See or not? Then the feeling triad also got three, also all got three, you see. So meaning to say that is the Dhamma Sangani, as we mentioned the matrix here. So here is like that. It's very technical and tedious but professional. So basically, since you can hardly gain the popularity with this type of a presentation, so finally the author of the Abhidhamma have to digest the whole thing and rewrite the Abhidhamma. So that is what we're reading here. If the Anuruddha doesn't do this, I think nobody want to read already. See or not? So that is the meaning here, class. So from example, you understand it already. Yeah, Sally, in what situation you will try to pick up all this to do the you use this as a reading material, Sally, you think? In what situation will you use this as a reading material, Sally?
I only use this as reference, not reading material.
No, you will use it once you cannot sleep at night.
Use this to sleep.
Yes, when you cannot sleep, you can just go through one by one, then you start to sleep already, sleepy already. In Mahayana Sema, we got my only school, Wei Si Xue, they also claim the same thing. They say, if I cannot sleep, I will go to read the Wei Si Xue. Quite sure you will feel sleepy. Okay, so make for you, Sally. Okay, so it's a joke only. We don't joke a little bit, but basically Dharma we don't use in this purpose. Okay, so here the same thing, I don't explain. Okay, we know already. So the second is regards this. What does all this mean? Actually, it come in this way. Class, let's take a look. Let me show you a diagram. So class, let's take a look. Okay, class, okay, this is our my dot connective precept. Okay, you will see B, B, C, C, P, V, C. Okay, just ignore it. You will see the Chinese words also ignore it. So what you want to see is here we mentioned to you that this is the connective process of our citta. Meaning to say that in the very beginning of class, you see you hear a sound, right? Okay, so the sound come to our eardrum, all right? So it start to send in the message to our brain, right? Okay, so in Abhidhamma, actually the brain, we use we express as a mind at that 1,000 years ago. Okay, and then our eardrum, since the ear involved, so we use it as an ear consciousness. Our eardrum will arise the ear consciousness. Then the ear consciousness, this information will pass to the brain. We call it also as a temporal lobe here. So the temporal lobe here will interpret the information. All right. So here we will see this. But in Abhidhamma interpret in this way. Once the sound come to the eardrum, this is the ear consciousness arise V. Okay, so once this consciousness disappeared, the second one is the receiving will appear. Okay, it will appear again. One gone. The other one will appear again, one by one. When you go to the J means the jhana, it start create the karma. So let's say my sound, just now my clapping, okay, you found it's very nice. You say, Master, can you please repeat the sound? I like it very much. So we need to say you're creating a good karma. We call it as a deep karma, a favorable karma. Also, the consciousness also go one by one. But if you try to analyze, it will appear in this way, you see. Actually, if you take out one of the consciousness and try to analyze this, you will notice it happen in this way. So class, let's take a look. So this is what you see. So this is the consciousness, and this is the mentas. We call it as a cetasika. You see, you don't understand, doesn't matter. This is a cetasika, meaning to say that in one citta, there's a lot of cetasika and combined together, make it as a consciousness. Okay, so the best way to understand, okay, now Chinese New Year is coming. You see the Mandarin orange, right? So one is the big, is the Mandarin orange. Okay, yes, Guan San, can you analyze me one of the Mandarin orange? Actually, what it this consists of? What's the composition within the Mandarin orange? Yeah, Guan San, what can you see?
Vitamin C.
How what
Vitamin C.
Vitamin C, no lah. Yeah. Can you answer? Not that microscopic. Can you answer in a more macroscopic way? You see, this is a
fruits.
I know. It's a Mandarin orange. Okay, we call it as a Mandarin orange. Okay, can you analyze this Mandarin orange? What is the composition inside it?
Composition inside.
Yeah. Okay, you see the skin, right? Okay. Then beside the skin, what else you see?
Juice.
Yeah, the juice. What else besides the juice? Also, the white color, what is it?
Fiber seeds.
Yeah, the fiber, right? Also got the cyst, right? Okay, and the juice and the skin. Meaning to say that once we talk about the Mandarin orange, actually, it consists of all these type of elements. If you try to you try to dissect the whole thing, Mandarin orange no more exists anymore. Am I right? So likewise, our citta is the same. We call it as a citta. Actually, the citta is formed by multiple of the function of the cetasika. If you try to dissect it, the citta no more existing. So here we use this analogy to understand this sentence. Let's see. Here is it. Why we call it as a citta? Actually, it's a continuous stream of consciousness. As just now the diagram is a continuous stream in the succession of the discrete evanescent connective events. You see, we call it as a citta. That is a connective process. Then it's a basic awareness, but we can see there's a constellation of the mental factor, a lot of mental factor. Like the Mandarin orange consists of so many parts, and then all the parts works together to make the mental working, to make the citta working. Likewise, we need every part of the Mandarin orange to work so that a whole orange will appear. Okay, once I get it. Okay, yeah, you used to answer wrongly. Why you go to vitamin C? Okay, yeah, Mr. Leong, you raise your hand, please.
Sifu, do you have a diagram of in English illustration just now?
Okay, I will try my best to find to you. I know you are going to ask it. Well, okay, yeah. If I don't,
the other question I would like to ask is regarding cetasika on these mental formations, is it related to causes and conditions?
Okay, not okay. Of course, everything is related to the cause and condition. Yes, it's true. So, one the jeta, we got a lot of jetasika. But not that directly the cause and condition. We just said that a jeta is combined. I mean, it consists of a lot of a jetasika. That's all. Okay, not much cause and condition there. All right, just a combination. There's a relationship between these both thing Okay, okay. If I cannot find the diagram, so you are the one who create for me to the next batch of the student. So don't laugh, you all. Okay.
No, Sifu, you have to do the translation.
Okay. So let's take a look. Okay, I think a lot of diagram we can find in in English. Okay, let's continue. So we finish here. Here mentioned, you see, four mental aggregate are always inseparable conjoined. The four mental aggregate meaning to say that is just how we mentioned, the feeling, the volitions, okay, and perception and the consciousness, they are inseparable conjoined, always together. Okay, now we go to the third contribution. Yes, Hui Ping, can you please read the passage? On the mic, please, Hui Ping.
Okay. A third contribution arises from the urge to establish order among the welter of technical terms making up the currency of Buddhist discourse. In defining each of the dhammas, the Abhidhamma text collate long lists of synonyms drawn mostly from the suttas. This method of definition shows how a single dhamma may enter under different names into different sets of categories. For example, among the defilements, the mental factor of greed, lobha, may be found as the taint of sensual desire, the taint of attachment to existence, the bodily knot of, I do not know how to pronounce this, covetousness, clinging to sensual pleasures, the hindrance of sensual desire, etc. Among these requisites of enlightenment, the mental factor of wisdom, pana, may be found as the faculty of power of wisdom, the enlightenment factor of investigation of states, the path factor of right view, etc. In establishing these correspondences, the Abhidhamma helps to exhibit the interconnections between doctrinal terms that might not be apparent from the suttas themselves. In the process, it also provides a precision-made tool for interpreting the Buddha's discourses. The Abhidhamma conception of consciousness further results in a new primary scheme for classifying the ultimate constituents of existence, a scheme which eventually, in the later Abhidhamma literature, take precedence over the schemes inherited from the suttas, such as the aggregates, sense bases, and elements. In the Abhidhamma Pitaka, the latter categories still loom large, but the view of mind as consisting of momentary concurrences of consciousness and the concomitance leads to a fourfold methods of classifications more congenial to the system. This is the division of actuality into the four ultimate realities: paramata, consciousness, mental factors, material phenomena, and nibbana, citta, cetasika, rupa, nibbana. The first three comprising conditions, reality, and the last, the unconditioned element. The last novel feature of the Abhidhamma method to be noted here, contributed by the final book of the Pitaka, the Pahana, is a set of 24 conditional relations laid down for the purpose of showing how the ultimate realities are welded into the orderly processes. This scheme the scheme of conditions supplies the necessary complements to the analytical approach that dominates the earlier books of the Abhidhamma. The methods of analysis proceeds by dissecting apparent wholes into their components parts, thereby exposing their voidness of any invisible core that might qualify as self or substance. The synthetic method plots the conditional relations of the bare phenomena obtained by analysis to show that they are not isolated, self-contained units, but nodes in a vast multi-layered web of interrelated, interdependent events. Taken in conjunction, the analytical method of the earlier treatises of the Abhidhamma-Pitaka and the synthetic method of the Pahana establish the essential unity of the twin philosophical principles of Buddhism, non-self or egolessness, anatta, and the dependent arising or conditionally Pitaka Samupada. Thus, the foundations of the Abhidhamma methodology remains in perfect harmony with the insights that lie at the heart of the entire Dhamma.
Okay, thank you so much. Class, regards just now this where to get the diagram, actually all is available in our textbook itself. So I remember I tell you all in the first lesson, even I myself also forget. Let's take a look, class. Okay, for example, in order to get the diagrams, we can get all the diagrams here, but I have to show you. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, Sally. I showed you before, we got one place that got all the diagram. So let me show you which diagram go to which place. Okay, regarding the continuity of the Jeta and Jetasika, you can just cross-reference to this page. Let me show you. Okay, condense. Yeah, list of the table. Yes, here is it. Okay, so just now the table actually we should go is the chapter number 4. The limit jhawana, absorption jhawana. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 155. The very great object processes. Page 155. Okay, we go to the page 155. Okay, class. This is the diagram. Can you please cross-reference to this diagram? So just now we said there's a one mental factor. Okay, the learning, the hearing, the sound, there's a continuous of the process. You see, they got totally 7 citta. So once the number 1 disappeared, the second appeared. Once the second appeared, the third one appeared again. And it, but with the same object, the sound is the same object. When it goes to the jawara, meaning to say that it starts to create the karma. Okay, so this is a diagram refer to that paragraph. Please just write down. Okay, so it's so the page is the table 4.1. That will be good already for you to recall. But so class, let's take a look. When we go to the chapter 4, we will repeat the whole thing. So we are still in the introduction only. So no worry. Everything we will just we'll come back again and understand everything in the details. Okay, so this is the diagram I can provide to you. Oh yeah, Mr. Leong, yes, you raised hand, right? Any compliment from you about the
yes,
diagram, right?
I think this is okay, understandable. But then can you please go to page
Okay.
288, the diagram on 4 ultimates as aggregates.
To page 288. Wait 288. Let's see. This diagram, yes. Okay.
Can this be related to what we've studied just now?
Yes, let's take a look. Sense-based 12 element 18. Yes, please refer to the diagram. Just now the 12 elements, the 18 element 5 aggregate and the 12 bases. Yes, that's true. You can relate to this. Okay, satisfied, Mr. Leong? No more okay, good lah.
Self-satisfaction, it is added.
Yes, okay, Mr. Leong, no problem. So this is diagram we can refer to here. Mr. Leong, maybe you just on your camera. Your Wi-Fi is not that good, Mr. Leong. Yeah. Okay, no more problem, Mr. Leong. Let me just continue. Okay. So all the I will provide you all the diagram. All from here. Okay, so let's continue to just now what Hui Ping, the Hui Ping readings. Oh. Okay, class, let's continue. Okay, we are about to finish the introduction. So the third one is the contribution is regards the terminology. Okay, class, I don't know whether you're confused or not. Sometimes we talk about greedy, we say it's loba, then sometimes we say maybe it's a craving and the desire. So cool, can you tell the difference between all this?
Different.
Yes, what's the difference between all this? You can't tell, right? Of course you can't tell because you haven't studied yet. Okay, class, please refer to the chapter number 7. Do you see the chapter 7? What is the name of the chapter number 7? Cool, can you check for me? Chapter number 7, what is the name of the chapter number 7?
Compendium of categories.
Cool, you haven't find it yet. The old people got the answer already.
The defilement as mental factor?
No, compendium of the category. Cool, I think you go to the wrong page already. Cool.
List
Yes.
of table.
Okay, you should come here. Cool, you see, you see Bhikkhu body, you see here, we come to this place, you see. So this is the chapter, cool, you can see, in the very beginning here. Come and see.
Yeah.
See, get it or not? Compendium of the category.
Categories.
Yes. So in this chapter, Abhidhamma will try to, classify everything together with you, so you won't confuse. Or I think maybe sometimes you also confuse, right? What is a panya, prajna, wisdom, intelligence, right? So you usually in the Dharma class, people say that, oh, you have a prajna, but sometimes maybe just say that you are very intellectual or analytical mind. It's a different with the prajna in the Buddhism, or sometimes we say, oh, you got a wisdom, or you're enlightened. So what's the difference? Actually, they are different. So we study the whole thing under this chapter. Okay, so you can't answer is normal. So let's go to the chapter number 7. But I don't know whether you can sustain until chapter number 7 or not. Maybe after chapter 1 all gone already. Okay, so see you got the patient or I got the patient. Mr. Leong, you think you win or I win? Who got the patient to sustain until the last chapter, you think, Mr. Leong?
Those who have patience.
So you think I win or you win,
You are the winner. We are the follower.
Okay. But of course, your followers all disappeared. So I talk to myself only. Okay, never mind. Actually, I teach, I taught in Chinese for 8 times already. I know the way how to make you feel finish the whole thing without realize that you already finished the whole book. No worry, I got some skills for you. As long as you stay back. Okay, let's take a look. So that is the chapter number 8. Number 7 in the future. Then class, let's take a look. Now we come down here. There's one more feature is basically in Abhidhamma, we categorize everything as a chitta, cettasika, rupa, and nibbana. So basically, class of so chitta, can you can you go to the condense? Chitta is in what chapter? Chitta in one chapter. Tiongket.
Sorry, okay, let me have a look. Chitta.
Yeah, okay. What chapter?
Not sure.
I'm not sure. No, you can be sure.
Consciousness, Chitta. Consciousness,
Yes.
the first chapter.
Yes, the first chapter. Okay. So then again, how about the second? As the second one is the Cettasika, mental factor. Which one chapter?
Chapter 2, yeah.
Yeah,
Mental
chapter
factor,
2.
Cettasika.
Okay. Yeah, Cettasika. So class, once you finish chapter 1 and 2, basically we will use the knowledge, apply it to the 3, 4, and 5. This is very important. Reason is how you enter to the jhana, how you experience the nibbana is all in chapter number 4. It's very important. So we apply all the knowledge in chapter 1 and 2 to here. It's all regards the consciousness, the mentality. Then Tiongket, we haven't finished yet. Okay. How about the rupa? Is in which one chapter? The rupa.
Rupa is matter, is chapter 6.
Yeah,
matter.
that's true. So because our body is consists of 2 parts, all the consciousness is in chapter 1 to chapter 5. So the rest one is the chapter number 6 is in the matter. So when we combine both together, we will go to the number 8, conditionality. So that is what Mr. Leong always mentioned, 12 link condition. So that is the 12 link condition. Why this is very important? Class, do you know this or not? Chapter number 1 and until to the chapter number 7, it seems Abhidhamma prefer analyze the thing. Do you realize or not? Mental, the chitta we divide as 89 chitta, cettasika 52 cettasika, then the rupa is 28. It is the analysis, right? Okay, so analysis is not enough. Finally, you have to make it more organic. So what's the relationship between this all? You have to link them together. So where do we link them? So it's in the chapter conditionality. So get it or not? So in the very beginning, we try to analyze. After we analyze the whole thing, then we will try to combine them together to see it run in the organic way. So class, let's see. So this is what we mentioned here. Now, so you see, class, you see, now 24 condition relation, you see here. So you see the method of analysis proceed by dissecting apparent whole thing into the component part. Okay, why we want to dissect? Because we want to see the voidness. and the want to see the voidness. But after we dissect it, finally we have to integrate them together, the unity. So class, you see, this is from Patana. Establish the unity, essential unity of the two philosophical principles of the Buddhism. So we'll go back to the chapter of dependent arising or conditionality. See or not? So that is the meaning here. So finally, once you can see, you link everything organically, or then you will see the whole picture. In the beginning, we disintegrate the whole self, the ego. Then finally, we try to link all them together. Okay, so that is the whole thing. Now we go to know the origin of the abhidhamma. What is the origin? Yeah, Sally, can you please read the passage?
Although modern critical scholarship attempts to explain the formation of abhidhamma by a gradual evolutionary process, Theravada Orthodox assigns its genesis to the Buddha himself. According to the great commentary quoted by Acharya Buddha Gosa, what is known as abhidhamma is not the province nor the sphere of a disciple. It is province, the sphere of the Buddhas. Commentary tradition holds, moreover, that it is not merely the spirit of abhidhamma, but the latter as well, that was already realized and expounded by Buddha during his lifetime. The Atsalini relates that in the fourth week after the enlightenment, while the Blessed One was still dwelling in the vicinity of the Bodhi tree, he sat on a jewel house in the northwest direction. This jewel house is not literally a house made of precious stones, but is the place where he contemplated the 7 books of the Abhidhamma-pitaka. He contemplated their contents in turn, beginning with the Dhamma-sangani. But while investigating the first 6 books, his body did not emit rays. However, upon coming to the Patana, when he began to contemplate the 24 universal conditional relations to good, object, and so on, his omniscience certainly found its opportunity therein. For as the great fish, Timiratipiga, finds room only in the great ocean, 84,000 yoganas in that, so his omniscience truly finds room only in the great book. Rays of the 6 colors, indigo, golden, red, white, tawny, and dazzling, issued from the teacher's body as he was contemplating the subtle and abstract Dhamma by his omniscience, which has found such opportunity. Theravada Orthodox thus maintains that the Abhidhamma-pitaka is authentic word of the Buddha. In this respect, differing from an early rival school, the Sarvastivadins, this school also has an Abhidhamma rival school. This school also has an Abhidhamma-pitaka consisting of 7 books, considerably different in detail from the Theravada treatise. According to the Sarvastivadins, the books of the Abhidhamma-pitaka was composed by Buddhist disciples, several being attributed to authors who appeared generations after the Buddha. The Theravada school, however, holds that the Blessed One himself expounded the books of the Abhidhamma, except for the detailed refutation of deviant views of the Kathavatu, which was the work of the earlier Mongalaliputri Tissa during the reign of Emperor Asoka.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. Cool. Do you know the rival school in Chinese? How do they translate or not? For you, how will you translate the rival school?
Rival school.
In Chinese, they translate 死對頭啊。yeah, because there's some argument, these two schools, even though Buddhism, they're always hostile to each other. 死對頭 this is how they translate. Okay, so we go to the condensed. How come it happened in this way? We have to study a little bit history. Sally, finish thumb up, please. Okay, yeah. So let's take a look. Now we talk about the origin of the abhidhamma. Okay, class, just now we have gone through the Dhamma Sangani, right? Okay, Hui Ping, what's the opinion? Do you think this type of stuff, like just now we go through the Dhamma Sangani, that this one, do you think every word is come out from the Buddha, or this is the compilation from the Buddha disciple? What do you think, Hui Ping? Logically speaking and frankly speaking, what's the opinion?
To be frank, I don't get your question.
My question, I mean, just now this type of stuff, You think it is come from the mouth of the Shakyamuni word by words, or actually this is the compilation of the disciple work? You think which one is more?
The latter one. It is not word by word from the Buddha's mouth, but it is from the followers.
Followers, okay. Anybody agree with Hui Ping? Please raise your hand. Come up by Zoom, please. Okay, Mr. Leong agree. Ku also agree. All right. Okay, yeah. Guan San disagree, You have to explain why you disagree already, if you don't put up your hand, Guan San, please. Yeah. Why you disagree, How dare you disagree? Yes. Okay. What's the reason? You agree, you mean, right? You agree, You are not daring disagree, Yeah. Okay, Okay. Class, basically, why people will try to choose to believe word by words from the Buddha mouth? The reason is due to the faith and the orthodoxy. You see another word, orthodox. So the orthodox meaning to say the way they will believe every words by words from the Buddha. It has happened in the Bible study and also Akuhan. For the Bible, for the believer, for the Christian and Muslim, they believe every single word from the Akuhan and the Bible are from the God. This is the orthodoxy, no room for dispute. But if you believe that this is the compilation, well, there will be some room for discuss and end up with the controversy. So this is number one. Second class, just now we mentioned, once Buddha tried to contemplate the 7 books, so the last one, Patana, the 6 rays, the color appeared from the Buddha body. Do you think it is a myth or it is a truth? Guan San? Is this a myth or this is a truth, you think?
Sorry, Sifu, can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
Yeah, you just now mentioned one Buddha tried to check each one of the 7 books. So he checked the book one by one, but his body doesn't emit any rays of the color, different color. But when he go to check the Patana, his body come out with a different color, meaning to say the Patana is very grand. So do you think it's a myth or you believe that really the color, some ray come out from the body of the Buddha? Quite hard to say yes or no, right? Because you have to explain later on. Yeah. Yes. Think well. Don't gamble, please.
Actually, don't know, Sifu.
Okay, you mean this is a myth, right? You mean how?
If let's say truth, then
quite hard, Okay, anybody? Okay, so Guan San say maybe it's a myth, right? Anybody disagree? Please raise your hand. You think it's true? Who believes this is a true? Please raise your hand. The light come out from the Buddha body. Yeah, Mr. Leong. How about the rest? How about the rest? Sally, you don't believe it. You thought it's a myth. The light come from the Buddha body.
No, I believe it's the
You believe?
truth.
Okay, yes, 2 people believe. Cool. Do you believe or not? You don't believe it. How about Hui Ping?
Well, if I were to think on today's modern, I'm using modern mind, modern brain to think about this, I would say that scientifically, I wouldn't feel that that is a reality.
Okay.
But nevertheless, this is from the scriptures, you know. So there must have certain content of some sort of we have to believe the sacredity of the scriptures, or else or maybe the religions wouldn't sustain, and then how would it actually be able to be influential? Yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, Hui Ping, I'll be using your facts based on the science, but prove it is true to you. Yeah, I think Mr. Leong and Mr. Leong, they agree. Basically, Hui Ping, during meditation, we see nimitta, the light appeared, right? So this one could be proof because a machine, we can check the light come out, the aura come out from the body. So this one I choose to believe, and I will use science to prove it is right. different with you. We are using same method, but we prove it otherwise. Okay, so Hui Ping, no worry. I will try to prove it later on, with more research, to prove, because it is good. We don't want to be superstitious. We don't want to hold the thing, because this is a religion. I have to believe to sustain the belief. Not that good. We should use the science, or we meditate ourselves to prove it. Okay, so Hui Ping, very good. You have a gut to say something, right? Applause to Hui Ping. Very good.
Join in the meditation class on Friday.
Oh, no. She does, she does, Mr. Leong. 佢係高手嚟㗎 Mr. Leong. 佢係
I'm
高
in
手
the
嚟㗎
class. I'm in the
Then
class.
go for the rest too.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Leong, she is able to see all the chakras. 佢係高手嚟㗎佢啊。
Good. Congratulations.
Yeah, sure. Okay, then let me see. Okay, here we finished already. Atasalini, all this we finished already. This is the 6th color lah. And then the Sawastiwada. So one more fact is regards the Sawastiwada ke水對頭啦. Okay, class, maybe let me try to remind you. This is where is the Sawastiwada. Before splitting, Sawastiwada or Tawatimsa, they are under one school. Let's take a look. You see, so these are Taunra Satya, as we mentioned in Theravada nowadays. So this is the Sawastiwada. Actually, they are before splitting. They are come from one school. Before the splitting. So once they split, even though they split, but there's still some agreement there. 7 book or so, same, and the detail also is a little bit different only. But the only thing different is class, for Sawastiwada, they believe 7 abhidhamma is not coming up from the mouth of the Buddha, but it's composed by the Buddhist disciple. So meaning to say Sawastiwada, they are more modern. Their thing all is come from the compilation of the disciple, not every word from the mouth of the Buddha. Okay, so I think this we will agree also. But one thing is for the Theravada, they will believe that all are come from the mouth of Buddha except of a Kawatatu. So Kawatatu is the word of the elder Mongali Buddha Tessa. So it's one exception only. Okay, class, for the academic study, nowadays academic study, they believe everything is the compilation of the Buddha word. No, the Buddha disciple. Okay, well, I mean, for me, it doesn't matter. You can choose to believe as you want, as long as you build the faith, and then you start to continue your meditation. They will be fine, because you just choose which one you feel comfortable. They will be fine. But for those who are more analytical mind, you cannot convince them. Just solely believe. You can't convince the academic study to involve, and sometimes the academic study over analysis, and it will diminish the faith in the religion. So we have to try to be balanced. Yeah, Mr. Leong, you raise your hand, please.
Sifu, as regard to Cetasika on the 89 process,
okay.
I also heard that there is also 121 processes on Cetasikas. Can you please elaborate and give us some more explanation on this?
No worry, next chapter will be coming. I will try to torture you from 89 to 121. No worry, I will torture you. See whether you can sustain to the chapter 1 or not. Okay, so class, we finished the class today. So let's take a look. Meaning to say that after here, where are we going to? I think we are about to finish. We'll go to the 7th book in next chapter, next class. We talk about the 7th book. Then from the 7th book, how do we come to the commentary? And 7th book and commentary, when they combines together, it becomes the Abhidhamma-Sangaha, which is our textbook today. So in the next lesson, we will mention to you that how is our today textbook come from, and finally the gist for each one chapter. Then we start the chapter number 1 already. Okay, so that is the class for today.